Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the actual PV diagram, or we are saying that the actual indicator diagram for reciprocating compressor. Now, actual PV diagram differs from the hypothetical indicator diagram. So, the reason behind this is the inlet wall should be theoretically open at point 4. Actually, it opens when the pressure inside the cylinder is slightly below the atmospheric pressure, so that the air can move inside due to the pressure difference. Delay in operating the valve is also occurs due to inertia of the valve. The abrupt opening of the valve causes the formation of eddies and the valve bounce, due to which the actual wavy due to the suction process. 4 to 1, you can see in this figure 4 to 1 over here. Now the pressure difference is called as the intake depression. Compression 1 to 2, usually a polytropic process. Compression continues beyond the delivery lines pressures, and then the delivery valve opens again due to the valve flutters and inertia effect of delivery valve. The delivery valve process 2 to 3 is wavy in nature. Now the shaded area represent extra work of compression is required. It is attributed to delay in opening and closing of suction and delivery valve, inertia effect of valves, and flutter of valves there. So you can see in this figure, from point 2 to 3 there is again the VV portion we can see, and the 4 to 1 process below this there is again the VV portion you can see. So this is the actual indicator diagram or actual PV diagram of reciprocating compressor. Reciprocating compressor, in this we are going to discuss the FAD. FAD means free air delivered. Now FAD represents the rate of volume of surrounding air which is sucked by the compressor and delivered at discharge pressure. So now you can see the volumetric efficiency, actual volumetric efficiency, mass of actual compressed air and delivered air upon the mass of equivalent piston displacement at inlet pressure and the temperature. Now in free air delivery, if the volume of air compressor is reduced to atmospheric temperature and pressure, this volume of air we are saying it as in the free air delivered, and we can measure this free air delivery in the meter cube per minute. So delivered mass of air is equal to intake mass of air. Now delivered mass of air we can find the P1 V1 upon T1, and the intake mass of air P into bracket V1 minus V4 upon T1, or we can say it is P2 into V2 minus V3 upon T2. If clearance volume is neglected, then it is okay. P1 V1 upon T1 is equal to P2 V2 upon T2. Now the atmospheric pressure we are considering, that is 101.325 kilonewton per meter square, and temperature we are considering 15 degrees Celsius, it is in Kelvin, 288 Kelvin. Now we are going to discuss the multi-staging of the compressor. high pressure required by the single stage, so it requires heavy working parts, has accommodate higher pressure ratios, increased balancing problem, high torque fluctuation, requires heavy flywheel installation. Now when it is required that the delivery gases at high pressure, it is advantageous to compress the air or gas in more than one cylinder with intercooling between the stages. This method of compression, we know that we call it as a multi-staging of the compression. The PV and TVS diagram for three-stage compressor, suppose we are considering, or two-stage compressor we are considering, air is compressed isentropically from point 1 to 2 in low pressure, and the compressed air is passed through the first stage of intercooler. When the cooled air is ideally compressed to its suction pressure or temperature, that is higher than the required, so this represent perfect intercooling. And the points, suppose we have plotted on the PV diagram, the points represent the isothermal curve over there, and the air is admitted due to the intermediate pressure in the cylinder where it is compressed isentropically. Now again, if air is cooled and then it is introduced into the high pressure cylinder, we are finding that the with the use of the single cylinder, it is required that the higher size of cylinder we have to be used. But if we are using in the multi-staging, this may saves the work input due to the intercooling. And if air is compressed in one stage of intercoolings, it requires space, as we have discussed. Therefore in multi-staging intercooling, there is a higher volumetric efficiency we can achieve. In multi-staging compressor, smoother torque angle diagram we can get, so smaller flywheel is needed. The exhaust temperature of air after multi-stage compressor is low compared to the single stage compressor, so this reduces the lubrication problem, the mean cylinder wall temperature, so less leakage problem are faced due to reduced in difference in each stages. So that's why we are requires the multi-staging of the compressor. Now here you can see the series of multi-staging, means low pressure cylinder, again low pressure cylinder, and one high pressure cylinder we are using over here. Now a series arrangement of the cylinder in which compressed air from earlier cylinder becomes intake of next cylinder, that is the multi-staging of the compressor. So LP is low pressure cylinder, IP is intermediate cylinder we are using, HP high pressure cylinder again we are using, an intercooler means the parts which cools the air between the cylinder. So in multi-staging you can find that low pressure cylinder sucks the air from the atmosphere, and it compresses the air and it passes to the intercooler, and after passing through the intercooler, again it is passed through the intermediate cylinder where again compression actions takes place, and this compressed air again passes through the intercooler, and again this after passing the intercooler, the air is introduced into the high pressure cylinder, and this high pressure cylinder again compresses the air, and we got the air delivered to the receiver tank. Now, or where the application we required, suppose we are considering the just we are taking the numeric figure, suppose we required the 15 bar pressure air. At low pressure, air is converted into the atmospheric pressure to the 5 bar pressure. At intermediate pressure, again from 5 bar pressure to the 10 bar pressure, and in 10 high pressure cylinder from 10 bar to 15 bar. So here, as the pressure increases, there is increase in the temperatures also, and this increase in temperatures affects on the sealing part of the cylinders. So to avoid the to avoid the breakage of these sealing parts, or to increase the life of these sealing parts, so we require that air temperature should be required low over there, and we have to increase the volumetric efficiency also there. So we are making the multi-staging of the compressor. Now on PV plotting, if we plotting the pressure from 1 to 2 to and 2 to 3 there, low pressure cylinder, you can find here intake pressure we have plotted at P1, and it compresses the air. PV raised to n is equal to constant, that is the polytropic process. And P2 over there you can finding intercooler we have provided, and from intercooler again that is the suction over there, because here you can find that the point is just shifted towards the left hand side, because due to intercooling action there is decrease in the temperature. So as decreases the temperature's volume is also reduces over there. So again compression action takes place and we are delivers into the third. So here you can find the actual PV diagram when we are using the intercooler and multi-staging of the compressor, low pressure cylinder and high pressure cylinder. Now we are going to calculate the work done in multi-staging of the compressor. Now here we are considering 1 to 2 process, that is the compression process, and after that we are providing the intermediate pressure, we are providing the intercooler, and we have also shown that without perfect intercooling and without intercooling over there, and low pressure cylinder and high pressure cylinder we are again using. So first this is the PV plotting. You can see we have plotted 1 to 2, 2 to 3, again from 3 to you can see that the processes. So overall pressure ranges from P1 to P3 we are going to seeing over here, and single stage 8 to 1, 1 to 5, 5 to 6. When there is a without intercooling, we can find that in the figure 8 to 1, 1 to 4, 4 to 7, this is the low pressure region, and high pressure region 7 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. So this is without intercooling, and when there is with intercooling, we found that 8 to 1, 1 to 4, 4 to 7 region, and a high pressure cylinder you can find 7 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 6. This is with intercooling. And when there is a perfect intercooling means what? After initial compression in the low pressure cylinder, air is cooled in the intercooler to its original temperature before entering the high pressure cylinder. So that's why you can find there T2 is equal to T1, or the point 1 and 2 on the same isothermal line lies there. So second two-stage compressor without intercooling, we are finding the points, that is 8 to 1, 1 to 4, 4 to 7, and high pressure cylinder 7 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. And the work done for this we can find, we know that for polytropic process W is equal to N upon N minus 1, P1 V1 into bracket 1 minus P4 upon P1, because you can find here P4 is the highest pressure in first stages, P4 upon P1 raised to N minus 1 upon N, plus secondly a high pressure cylinder work done we have to add, because this is the work done of the low pressure cylinder, and in case of high pressure cylinder you can find N upon N minus 1 P4 V4. This is the intake pressure and intake volume is for the high pressure cylinder, and into bracket 1 minus P5 upon P4 raised to N minus 1 upon N, because P5 is the discharge pressure. So this is the work done of the high pressure cylinder. So after adding the work done of low pressure cylinder and high pressure cylinder, we got the total work done. So without intercooling, this is same as that of the work done in the single stage compressor. Delivery temperature is also remains same over the here. So you can find the work done of multi-staging of the compressor. Now next we are going to see with perfect intercooling. With perfect intercooling, low pressure cylinder area is 8 to 1, 1 to 4, 4 to 7 and 7 to again 8. This is for the low pressure cylinder. And high pressure cylinder 7 to 2, then 2 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to again 7. So we have to find out the work, that is W is equal to, for low pressure, N upon N minus 1, P1 V1 is the initial, just different, that is 1 minus P4 upon P1 raised to N minus 1 upon N, plus N upon N minus 1 P2 V2, because here intake pressure we are finding the 2. So P2 V2 into bracket 1 minus P3 upon P2 raised to N minus 1 upon N. Now we have the relation for the polytropic process, T3 is equal to T2 into bracket P3 upon P2 raised to N minus 1 upon N, which is also equal to T2 is equal to T1, as we are saying that the perfect intercooling. So T1 into bracket P3 upon P2 raised to N minus 1 upon N, as here T2 is equal to T1. Now you can also find with perfect intercooling of two stage, that is the low pressure cylinder, if we consider 8 to 1, 1 to 4, 4 to 7, 7 to 8, and high pressure cylinder 7 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 6 and 6 to 7. Here T2 is equal to T1, so we can substitute P2 V2 is equal to P1 V1. So as here P4 is equal to P2, we are saying that the work done for the perfect intercooling, we got that W is equal to N upon N minus 1 P1 V1 into bracket 2 minus P2 upon P1 raised to N minus 1 upon N minus of P3 upon P2 raised to N minus 1 upon N. So this shaded area you can find here 2 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 3, 3 to 2, work saving due to the perfect intercooling over here. So this is your work done with perfect intercooling. Now this is the most important derivation. This is asked many times in the examination, that show the relation between the pressures as we are going to be derived, that is the condition for minimum work. You are finding intermediate pressure P2 to P1, the area 2 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 3, 3 to 2 and 2 to again we are saying it tends to the 0, and intermediate pressure P2 tends to P3, the area 2 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 3, 3 to 2. So there is a optimum P2 which is area 2 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 3, 3 to 2. Here maximum you are finding, and it is there we require the work minimum. So for minimum work we have derived when there is a perfect intercooling, that is W is equal to N upon N minus 1 P1 V1 into bracket 2 minus P2 upon P1 raised to N minus 1 upon N minus of P3 upon P2 raised to N minus 1 upon N. So for minimum work we have to take the derivation with respect to pressure P2. So we are going to take the derivative differential, we are going to differentiate with respect to P2. So we got dW upon dP2. So d upon dP2, that is the we are taking the terms P2 upon P1 raised to N minus 1 upon N plus P3 upon P2 raised to N minus 1 upon N. So here all other constant we have removed, and we have also removed the negative sign. So for requiring the minimum work we are equating it with respect to 0. So we are going to take the differentiation, we are going to differentiate this. So we got 1 upon, that is x raised to n is equal to n into x raised to n minus 1. So we are going to substitute in that way. So you are finding that 1 upon P2 raised to n minus 1 upon n into n minus 1 upon n P2 n minus 1 upon n minus of 1. Same way for next region, that is P3 into n minus 1 upon n into bracket minus of bracket n minus 1 upon n P2 n minus 1 upon n minus 1, which we are going to equate with the 0. So after cancelling the terms and rearranging the terms, we got P2 raised to minus 1 upon n, P2 raised to minus 2 upon 2n plus 1 upon n. So which is equal to P1 into P3 raised to n minus 1 upon n. So this P2 terms we are taking into the numerator. After taking into the numerator, that n get cancelled and 1 get cancelled also. So as n and 1 get cancelled, so that is remaining is P2 raised to 2, and from this side also that n minus 1 upon n, this gets cancelled. So P2 square is equal to P1 into P3. So P2 is equal to square root of P1 into P3, or we are saying that P2 upon P1, which is equal to P3 upon P2. So this is the condition of work for minimum, or we are saying that the relation between P2, P1 and P3. So this is the most important derivation. So many times this is asked in the examination. So after finding this pressure relation, we are going to substitute the value of P2 in the work equation. So for obtaining the minimum work, so W is equal to 2n upon n minus 1 P1 V1 into square bracket 1 minus P2 upon P1 raised to n minus 1 upon n. So here we are going to substitute P2. So we got 2n upon n minus 1 P1 V1 into square bracket 1 minus P1 P3 raised to half, means square. We have the relation P2 is equal to square root of P1 into P3. So we have substituted this value and we got work done 2n upon n minus 1 P1 V1 1 minus P3 upon P1 raised to n minus 1 upon 2n. So this is the minimum work required for the to drive the compressor for obtaining the maximum efficiency. Now we are going to discuss related with the efficiencies. Isothermal work done per cycle we are finding from the PV diagram, and which is equal to P1 V1 log to the base E P2 upon P1. So isothermal power we are getting P1 V1 log to the base E P2 upon P1 into N upon 60 into 1000 kilowatt, and indicated power is the power obtained from the actual indicator card taking during the test on the compressor. So we found the compressor efficiency is equal to isothermal power upon the indicated power. So we got isothermal efficiency is equal to isothermal power upon shaft power. What is meant by shaft power? Shaft power is the brake power required to drive the compressor. So related with the we are finding the various types of methods are there to increase the isothermal efficiency, means to use the fins over the cylinder for faster heat dissipation from the inside of the compressor to the outside, by providing the water jacket. So the perfect intercooling it will get by spraying the water at the end of the injection process. So air get mixed with the air and separated again before it using it again. So the intercooling of the compressor of air may be employed between the each stage of the, or each stage of the multi-staging of the compressor. So these are the some methods we are using to increase the isothermal efficiency. Now you can find we have discussed various types of efficiencies. Now, next point we are going to discuss adiabatic efficiency. Adiabatic efficiency is the ratio of power required to drive the compressor compared with the area of the hypothetical indicator diagram. We are assuming that adiabatic compression which is equal to gamma upon gamma minus 1 P1 V1 into bracket 1 minus P2 upon P1 raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma. So this is the work done you have find, but to achieve this work from the adiabatic process, you have to add some brake power to get that work done. So brake power required to drive the compressor. So whenever you have to calculate the efficiency during this adiabatic process, the adiabatic work done upon the brake required to drive that compressor. So mechanical efficiency, we are finding that it is the ratio of indicated power to the brake power. So the indicated power to the power required to run the compressor. So the power required to drive the compressor is called as the brake power or shaft power or the motor power, which is in case of the compressor more than the indicated power because of extra power required to overcome the friction power and the other losses of the compressor. So mechanical efficiency, so in case of the compressor mechanical efficiency, we are finding indicated power upon the brake power, and the adiabatic efficiency, we are finding that adiabatic power upon the brake power. So this is related with the today's lecture. Today we have discussed how to calculate the minimum work done, then work done for perfect intercooling and imperfect intercooling, then relation between the pressures, that is P2, P1 and P3, and we have discussed the what is by perfect intercooling, how we are going to increase the efficiency also, and also we have discussed the methods to improve the isothermal efficiency. Next we have discussed the various efficiencies: mechanical efficiency, adiabatic efficiency, isothermal efficiency. So this is related with the today's lecture. Thank you.